senior who you love and there's an emergency, oftentimes we go to the internet to find answers. But so often there's just a huge amount of information. It's difficult to get through and understand. And so what we really want to find is something that's easy to get through and streamline what we need so that we can get the answers right away. So I have asked Scott Chevin, who is one of the co-founders of Senior Providers Network, to join me so we can discuss some of the resources that he has on his site. Scott, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the 5 categories that you have on your site so we can really streamline those really important topics.
Absolutely. We've tried to really put basic things together. So there's services in the home that are provided by professional services. There's topics on housing, finance, legal, and we even touch a little bit on Medicare.
Okay, so talk about Medicare. Medicare is something that is a benefit that you earn at 65.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what you have listed on Medicare.
Well, I mean, we kind of touch on subjects of, what the difference is between Medicare and Medicaid, which is Medi-Cal out here. Mm-hmm. Being the federal program, Medicare, and then the state, really the Medi-Cal.
And Medi-Cal is really more Medi-Cal in California, Medicaid almost everywhere else, right?
Right, nationally.
Okay, so that's really an income-based program, correct?
Absolutely, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So somebody who's lower income would qualify for maybe both benefits?
Correct, absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Okay. So you can go through on your site and it would drill down some of those specific items.
Absolutely. A lot of times people are, it really touches on the unknown of what the difference is between home care versus home health care. It's just a little difference in wording, but
right.
Completely difference in services.
It is, because that touches on something that's covered under your insurance versus private pay, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, the home care is really the non-medical side. And the home health care is really the skilled nursing side.
Right. So, okay. So you have a whole section devoted then to just discussing home services. Talk about some of the other home service items you might have on the site.
Oh, we kind of touch on different subjects. So the way the website is really to educate folks is it breaks everything down, what home care is, and it gives a broad definition of everything, and then it breaks it down into separate subjects like palliative care, respite care, hospice care, and the list goes on. And each one has a definition and basically how it's paid for, because a lot of times people call in, they don't realize that home care, which is the non-medical side, is actually really out-of-pocket or long-term care insurance.
Right. But I also like on their site, it's just small, nice little,
absolutely,
just little paragraph. It doesn't go into...
We want to be right to the point, straight, easy, and not a lot of fluff.
Right, exactly.
A lot of people are searching on mobile devices. They don't have time to be scrolling and trying to read big articles.
Right. How about veterans benefits? Do you mention anything like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. My wife is both vets and really enjoy working with our vets. A lot of times people don't realize that they are eligible for these benefits. There could be a surviving spouse that lost their loved one who was in World War II and didn't realize that she's actually eligible for benefits herself.
Right.
And it's kind of tough.
So they call that aid in attendance,
aid
correct?
in attendance, absolutely.
And I think you actually have some of the application process
absolutely,
or some of the things that are really
absolutely.
important to process that information.
Yeah. The government websites they're kind of tough to navigate.
Yeah.
So what we try to do is actually break it down into a simpler fashion where you can kind of step by step and how to collect all of the forms and the documents that you're going to need, and you can click right on the form and it takes you right to the current form, and try to make it really simple. So.
And there's some things that you caution people about so that their applications aren't rejected or postponed and that sort of thing as well.
Absolutely. There's little tidbits of information that we try to add in there just so you don't get delayed in getting your benefits.
It's
and it can be tricky. Can be very tricky.
Now, are those benefits retroactive, do you know?
They are.
Okay, so you can apply, and I think it's taking 6 to 9 months sometimes to get some of those benefits?
Yeah, that's the average. But there again, making sure your paperwork is filled out properly, you're sending it to the correct regional center, and everything is perfect. And
great.
better chance of maybe getting it a little earlier.
Good. Thank you for being here today. Will you come back and
Absolutely.
share about some of the other topics later?
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks for having us.